Welcome back to the show. Welcome to Garden America as we kick off your weekend, and we are live from San Diego, California. Actually, the Fallbrook area of San Diego County. You may recognize the surroundings, and you may recognize the feedback from John's phone if that did come across.
That's how we know we're officially on.
That's true. That's our check. We have double checks and double checks, don't we? Layers of protection and checks. But we are back in John's library. So welcome if you're a longtime listener, a longtime viewer. Welcome back. If you're brand new, we welcome you for the first time. And for those that are listening for the first time, do let us know. If you're on our Facebook page, you can just take part in all the comments. We've got people can talk and chat back and forth, Tiger, as you know, and we can see those chats.
And that's part of why we do this. It gives people that opportunity to interact with
each
people
other
that are having a trouble in the garden, or maybe they have a success they want to share, or maybe they have a question that they might have about what they want to grow or do.
And let's be honest, they get tired of us pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And so by doing so, they can chat amongst themselves.
Exactly. I mean, last week, we were talking about my obsession with alliums and trying to grow them.
Right.
And where was it that somebody was it growing them up in not Huntington Beach? Who was it that said they had success? Oh, no. It was in Hamul, East County, San Diego. It was Rochelle, I think. And she was growing them, was it?
Or was it someplace that we couldn't believe they would actually grow there?
Well, I think it was just, kind of more eastern San Diego where it gets a little bit cooler. And
the person that called us was from Oceanside that had gotten them.
Right. And we had said no.
It's probably not going to work.
Right.
But then we did have someone
that chimed in and said they had success. And it was in Southern California.
Yeah.
But I think it was more in the mountain area. But yeah, I mean, that's always fun to hear. Fun to, hear people have success and then see what they do different.
I like to hear you say the word allium.
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 Could it be allium or is it allium or is it allium?
How do you say it, John?
You can say it however you want, because I had somebody tell me that it should have been pronounced eucalyptus instead of eucalyptus.
Can you say eucalyptus on the radio?
I just did.
Or in any forms of media?
Did. Lisa up in Redding says it's 35 degrees up there.
Whoa.
We're not much warmer. And I'll tell you.
What are we, like 40 outside right now?
No.
43 when you got here, right?
Yeah, 43.
Oh my goodness.
It was 43, but I looked at my phone. It says 43 feels like 34.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh man, because it was a little windy.
It was the wind. And I wrote an article for the newsletter about how wind can be sometimes be worse for plants than cold, because it dries them out. Especially if you're really cold and the plant's roots are resting, they can't take up moisture. And they're being desiccated by the winds.
Is that like turning the heat on in your house when you have house plants? What it can do to house plants? Same thing, right?
Yeah, except kind of the reverse.
The reverse,
super dry air.
Yeah, it dries it out.
Yeah, so I mean, it's definitely wind is a huge factor that we in Southern California don't always get affected by, because big areas that with big storms they naturally get their trees trimmed.
Yeah, naturally, right?
Naturally get those things figured out. Where us, driving up here, we have all these palm trees.
Right.
And people that don't trim those palms, they have all the fronds and the seeds and the flower pods falling
It
off.
looks horrible. I hate that.
And it just comes down with the wind.
Yeah.
But you can see it never happens because it's all still up there.
What was it, about a year or so ago? That fire that took place off Montezuma.
Yeah, that was like a couple years ago for sure.
Was it already?
Yeah.
Well, I was driving by about a week ago. You can almost see that nothing ever happened.
And
there's a little scorching still.
I was going to say, and a lot of those trees are alive.
Oh yeah,
meaning they're scorched, but then they're growing.
Yeah.
New fronds. They're growing new branches. Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
And John is checking our Facebook page right now with the comments. John, what do you have for us?
Well, John wanted to know, with all this rain, can you explain why it's beneficial to the gardens?
Oh, so many levels, right?
Yeah.
Rainwater? I mean,
absolutely.
Forget about the idea that the plants are naturally getting watered in the sense of good watering, but rainwater is
what
so much
kind
more
of water are they
beneficial
getting? The oxygen, right?
Oxygen. It's got all kinds of other minerals in it. It has not the chemicals that we put in our water. I mean, the fact that, the other thing too is people don't realize is when you're watering a plant, and you water at the base of the plant, that's good. The plant's getting the water. But plants have all these other roots in that soil. And sometimes it's hard to simulate that rainwater drenching of soil. But rain does that, and the plants like that too. So
rain spreads it out, John.
Right. Tanya mentioned she couldn't hear us, but everyone else can. So I don't know what to tell Tanya.
Oh, refresh. When in doubt, refresh.
Oh, yeah, just refresh. We were talking before the show started. First of all, I wanted to mention we have an excellent show planned today because we're going to have our friend Tatiana Anderson on from
Florida, right?
From Florida, from Top Tropicals.
Yeah. So we'll be talking
about she's got a ton of things to talk about. And when I took that little side there, I forgot what we were talking about.
you were saying we were going to have an excellent show.
Yeah, but what was I saying before that?
I don't know, because then you said something about going in and we're going to have an excellent show.
Okay, this is where you reach out to the people that are watching us right now on Facebook.
And actually listening.
And actually remind John what we were talking about.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, I mean, I don't know. You were reading something.
Oh, what I was going to say was you were right about the alliums.
Oh, okay.
Rochelle said that she has them in Blossom Valley.
Blossom Valley.
Okay, Blossom Valley, right.
That's impressive.
Hey, we should welcome people that are listening to this this replay or this broadcast after the fact. And there's many ways. It could be YouTube. It could be Alexa. So if you have Alexa, just ask Alexa to play the Garden America podcast, and she'll ask you which one, the most recent one. And very simple. So many ways to hear us these days. If you miss something, you can always catch up later.
I learned something new this week. Well, many things. And I just remembered what I was going to talk about. It's like, oh my gosh.
I'll bet you can remember 1963 better than you can 5 minutes ago.
What he did on May 5th.
I started to say that prior to the show, we were talking about AI.
Oh, yeah.
We were having AI fun.
And all the things that it can do now, and how you can't just trust anything anymore. No. Pretty soon, now we have videos of events that occur.
That didn't occur.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're going to be fake too. What can you trust?
Yeah.
But the reason that we were talking about it is a free app that's available to anyone. It's actually on Google. You just go to gemini.google.com, and you can alter pictures any way you want. If you want to take someone out, you just say, you have 4 people in a line, say take out the third one from the right.
So if you have a picture of a family and you never liked that family member,
just remove them.
Remove that person right now.
How much time do we have?
We got about 2 minutes.
Okay, because I want you to share the story about that.
About the rose.
Oh, that's kind of a long story.
Well, can you make it short? Can you edit?
All right. I had to give a presentation at the LA Arboretum on Thursday, and one of the roses in my presentation was a 1920 hybrid tea that is extremely rare, and there's only one picture on the internet of. And it's from an old catalog, and back then there was no color in it.
It's grainy black and white.
Grainy.
Yeah, a grainy black and white picture. And so that was the picture I was going to have to use for my PowerPoint. And as I uploaded the picture, I saw there's something blurry in the background. It looks like writing.
Ancient writing, but it was French, actually, right?
Yeah, but I didn't know that, so I just asked Gemini. I said, what is that in the background? The smudges in the background. And they said, oh, it's a bleed-through text in a mirror image of something in French. They said, would you like me to interpret it? So I said, yeah. So it reversed the image, interpreted, and it turned out it was a catalog description of, Amis de la Rose, which is the newsletter of the French Rose Society.
This is from the 20s, right?
From the 20s, yeah. So the pages, I guess, had bled through, and that's how they got the description over the picture, this old photo. And it said, would you like me to translate it, translated it, turned out to be a description of the rose. and it said, "Would you like me to show you what this rose would look like?"
That's so amazing.
And it changed the whole picture, colored it. I mean, it still looked the same. It was a bouquet of roses.
It just made this colors, the style.
According to the description.
You know what
Really
we should have
cool.
done is take a picture of the rose before and then after, and then post it on Facebook.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So people
I'll
can
get
see
those from John. I think he has those.
People could see the difference. Here's the original black and white, and here's what it did afterwards. Okay, we've got Tatiana, who's going to be with us next segment. We've got the quote of the week. We have commercials to play first of all.
Wow.
Spots
That's a lot.
with our good friends on Biz Talk Radio. Thank you, Biz Talk Radio. Thank you to those that are tuned in. Thank you to Facebook Live. So do stay with us. If you're just joining us, it's Garden America. I'm Brian Main, Tiger Palafox, John Begnasco, and big thanks to our major sponsor, Fertilome, and the rest of our sponsors on Biz Talk Radio back after these messages. All right, welcome back to Garden America. Welcome those on Biz Talk Radio, Facebook Live. We've got Tatiana lined up and ready to go. But first of all, some people think this is the best part of the show, John. Your quote of the weeks or week, and here we go.
It was an interesting quote, and I picked it because it relates to gardening and to New Year's resolutions.
How about that, huh?
And it's hard to get quotes like that. But this quote is, "Promises that you make to yourself are often like the Japanese plum tree. They bear no fruit." and the quote, Tiger probably won't know this, but you will, Brian. The quote's from Francis Marion. And do you know who Francis Marion is, right? There was an old
dictionary?
I think I should.
It was not Merriam-Webster.
Oh, okay.
There was a Walt Disney TV show years ago, and called The Swamp Fox. Do you remember that?
I do not.
You don't?
I don't.
Oh. Do you know who the Swamp Fox was? Like fought in, was it Louisiana? Like New Orleans during the
sounds very French
during the French or during the American Revolution. But anyway, he was the Swamp Fox, Francis Marion.
Ah.
So interesting to look that up. I'm sure a lot of our listeners remember
the
that
Swamp
show.
Fox.
Yeah.
So from the Swamp Fox,
we have a different fox.
Our friend from Fort Myers, Florida, is joining us on the phone. Good morning, Tatiana. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Happy to see you. Happy New Year to everybody.
Yeah, Happy New Year, Harry. Happy to hear you. Now, Tatiana, I wanted to just double check real quick, making sure you can hear us okay. Everything sounds good?
Yep.
All right, perfect. All right, we're good to go. Sometimes there's always a little
Right.
question of what's going on.
And since I'm not wearing headphones, I'll take your word for it.
So Tatiana is joining us from Fort Myers, Florida, where she has her nursery, Top Tropicals. They specialize in all kinds of wonderful tropical fruit trees, just tropical plants in general there, and also do a mail order program. So if you're interested in ordering some of her plants, you can go on to her website, Top Tropicals, and order plants. Tatiana, we brought you on this morning to discuss winterizing these tropical plants because we're getting into that time of year. I mean, we were just talking earlier in the show about how cold it got here, down into the 30s and 40s and low 50s. So, tropical plants don't like that, right?
Well, I tell you what, I have a very good opportunity now to get more experience with cold for tropical plants. Because 5 years ago, we got the second location in Central Florida, in Sebring, Florida. And I planted a big garden. We have 10 acres, big property in Sebring. And we planted over 100 varieties of mango, probably as many avocados. And through the several winters, I've had some experience to see. And some of it was very surprising. In fact, some plants, some species and varieties that they are less sensitive than we thought.
Really?
So, so I even discovered some mango varieties that are more hardy than others. I didn't know it. I've been growing mangoes for 25-something years, and I didn't know that some species can be more hardy. So it was a few good surprises. We just had a frostbite. We had minimum temperature 31.2.
Oh.
So, because I have sensors everywhere on the property, and every greenhouse, every piece of garden has a sensor. So we had it for a few hours. We had we had frost on the grass. So,
Yeah.
but so far, knock on wood, there was no significant damage. And I tell you what, the interesting thing, I discovered that the factors that actually affect tropical plants during winter, what affect their hardiness, it's not just the temperature itself. I discovered 4 factors that actually affect your tropical plant, and it's very important if you take it in consideration. The first one is actually plant health. So if your tree is healthy, strong, established, if you fertilize it during the growing period, during summertime and fall, it makes winter much easier than less established plants, which is obvious, of course. This is the most important factor, how established your plant is. The second one is duration of that cold period. It's not just the temperature itself, it's the duration. Because what I noticed is, like if you have several days of 42 degrees, you get more damage from that long period of cool temperature. You'll get more damage on your leaves than from just a couple hours of a light frost.
Yeah.
This is the most important, the duration. The third factor is, like you guys just started discussing it, it's exposure and wind chill. So if you have chilly wind, if your plant is exposed to, it's not surrounded by some canopies, it also has more chances to get some frostbite. And what I also discovered, that you should water your plants before the cold. We always think that, it's getting cold, let's just reduce our water, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's logical. But make sure your plants not like bone dry. They need to be juicy. Make sure your leaves stay juicy and saturated with juices and water, well watered. And that gives them a better conditions for taking over, surviving that cold. Because like you already mentioned, I think John started talking about it, that Tiger, that the wind chill, the strong wind can dry out your leaves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dries it out, so make sure to water your plants. And again, of course, the fourth factor, like I said, there is 4 factors. The fourth factor is temperature itself. But you see, it's not the most important one.
Yeah.
The temperature itself is not just the most critical factor. It's number 1, plant health and vigor, how well you maintain your plant, how strong it is. Number 2, duration of that cold period, right? Number 3, exposure and wind chill that dries out your plant. Make sure to water your plant. And only number 4 is the temperature itself. So it's just a little bit of a practical science.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't realize watering too is also important because it decreases the frost. A lot of people will water their yard during a frost because water is warmer than the cold air, and it actually will protect the plants from getting frost because you're putting that warm substance into the area. And it doesn't allow it to dry out too much. Hey, Tatiana, we're about to pause for another break, for a break. But I do want to, just mention to our listeners once again, we're chatting with Tatiana from Top Tropicals in Florida. If you have any questions regarding any kind of tropical plant care through the winter, any varieties or anything like that, when we get back from the program, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the fruit trees that through the winter and what we need to do for those and what varieties do better than others.
All right, so do stay with us. And again, thank you so much. Those on Biz Talk Radio, big thanks to Tatiana. It is Garden America. I'm going to take a break, as Tiger mentioned, back after these messages and more with Tatiana from Florida after these messages on Biz Talk Radio. All righty, that was a great break. And we are back from San Diego, California, John's Library here in Fallbrook, California. We're talking tropicals.
Yeah.
Top tropicals, right?
Top. The top of the tropicals.
The top of the tropicals, and we welcome back Tatiana.
Tatiana, I was looking at your website, and first of all, I want our listeners to know, if you want information, go to Tatiana's website at toptropicals.com. There's so much information there.
So much.
You won't believe how much, Tiger,
So many videos.
that I looked up something on AI and it gives you the sources of where the information
They're all
came
hers.
from. No, well, not all, but I actually did have Top Tropicals
As a
show up
source?
as one of the sources.
Super cool.
Yeah.
That is so neat.
But Tatiana, I wanted to ask you. I was, talking about how hardy some plants are. I was looking at your selection of avocados, and I saw, if I'm not mistaken, that you had an avocado that you said would handle a temperature down to 15 degrees. Now, you just told us about the four winter reasons that affect plants. And so it would depend how long it was 15 degrees. I know they're not going to take 15 degrees
For a week.
For a week or a month. But is it true that some avocados can actually survive that?
Yes, there is a whole like a line of varieties. They were selected specifically for some Texas areas. I believe San Antonio, Texas, right? And there is a number of avocados that are called cold hardy avocados. There is varieties, Brothers Bell, Fantastic, what else? Joey, Pancho, Lila. There's quite a few. I can put in your comments. I can put some names of the varieties that's cold hardy. And yes, they do take down to 15 degrees, but don't take it literally. First of all, the tree must be well established.
Right.
It has to be a mature tree. 2, 3, 4 years old tree will take that cold for several hours. Like you said, you're not expecting for 15 degrees for
Right.
5 days.
Right.
Young trees, let's say if you have them in 3-gallon or just planted them in the ground, you still want to protect them the same way like you would protect other avocado varieties. But probably 1 or 2 winters, and you can rely, and you don't have to protect them for just 1 or 2 hours. They will take some cold. There is some really nice cold hardy varieties. And the good part is they are those that we like. The black avocados that are really buttery and you like to eat them fresh. Not the Florida green. Everybody criticizes. Oh, Florida green avocados, they not that tasty. But I tell you what, I have some varieties here in our garden. Green varieties. They're so-called Florida, the ginormous fruit.
Right.
But they're so tasty. They even taste better than that famous California Husk.
Wow.
I like them better. I discovered varieties of avocado that I never even expected them to be so tasty, but they're green. Maybe it's just because they grow in your garden and you fertilize them, you take care of them,
Right.
and you don't pick the green fruit out of the tree, right?
Yeah, your fruit is always better than the store-bought fruit.
Yeah.
Hey, Tatiana,
Let it ripen.
regarding the avocados, who have a question for you, because we talk about avocados having shallow root systems, which means that a lot of times that you water over the large area of the root system, not necessarily just right at the base of the plant. In a cold situation, would you also want to mulch because you're protecting some of those roots because they're so shallow? Or is it not that important?
Mulch is important for every tropical plant in winter. Just remember, the more mulch, the better. Just make sure to keep it away from the trunk so it doesn't create rotting conditions, right? Mm-hmm. Water avocado well. It likes water, but it doesn't like wet feet. So, which means when you plant your avocado tree in the ground, plant it on a little hill. It's like, so the growing point is just a few inches higher than the rest of the, of your mulched area. Because they're very sensitive to, like a soggy conditions.
Yeah.
They're very tricky at the beginning. But once it starts growing, then you don't have to babysit it. It should be fine. But at the beginning, you really have to, provide them the best, a lot of water, but good drainage. That's the key.
Well, that's why I think they like it here in Fallbrook, because they're basically growing them on the side of cliffs here. If you drive around Fallbrook to see where these avocado orchards are, they're just on the side of mountains, literally. So their water isn't sticking around there at all.
The rule of thumb in planting an avocado in Fallbrook is if you can dig the hole, you can plant the avocado.
So true.
Yes. And another thing about avocados, I was going to mention that the dwarf avocados. There is several varieties of avocado that you can grow in pots, and they produce really well. You can get some really nice crop from them, like Joey, of course, Wurtz. Wurtz is the best dwarf avocado. Condo, they call it condo avocado, and Fuerte. These three, Fuerte, Wurtz, and Joey. You can grow them in pots, and you can bring them inside if it gets really cold. So for people who live outside of the tropical areas, those are good solutions. These three varieties.
I think
so
the Wurtz.
avocado.
I think the Wurtz avocado was marketed, at least in Southern California, by Durling's as Little Cado. Do you remember that, Tiger?
Yes.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, Tatiana, talking about the cold hardiness of avocados, you mentioned Texas. I know there was a guy, and I think he was in Austin, Texas, that was actually breeding cold hardy avocados.
Really?
But like Tatiana says, if you want to plant an avocado and you live in an area where it's going to get that cold all winter or every winter, you don't want to plant it. Where you want to plant those cold hardy avocados are in areas that get infrequent freezes, you know, where it would be unusual to have that type of weather. So a lot of the California inland areas where normally they don't get a freeze, but, you know, every few years you can go down to the 20s or something like that. That's where you would use those type.
So Tatiana, regarding, you know, you mentioned the condo avocados, keeping them in pots so that way you can kind of move them in and out. Is that something that, let's say, what about the room that you keep them in? You know, are you going to put that avocado just in your garage, or does it have to still have all the light of outdoors as well?
Well, the only plant that can grow without light is, I guess, plastic one, right? And probably aglaonema. It can grow in your closet. But yes, of course, you need to provide the best light. The better, the more light, the better. But a plant can sit in your garage for several days, several nights, even if you just keep the light on. At least give it something, right? I just had during this cold snap that we had over the New Year's Eve. I moved some really cold sensitive plants inside my garage, and I had just a little window, you know, like a little skylight. And they were sitting there for probably 5 or 6 days, and nothing. Sometimes you can get a little leaf drop because of the shock of, you know, lack of light. But, you know, we ship plants. So the plant, when you get it shipped to California especially, it takes 5 to 6 days to get there to you guys. And the plant's usually fine. Our customers are pretty happy with the result. They can take a few days of no light. But if you keep it for several months in your garage, it has to be some kind of a lighting solution. Either you have to install additional lights with even just a bunch of, you know, house lights will work. Or just bright. The brighter, the better. You just need the amount of light. It doesn't matter the spectrum. Even though they say, oh, it's important that you have to buy this expensive grow lights. No, you don't.
Okay.
Just provide a lot of light.
Just
That's
keep the
all
light.
you need.
You know,
Keep the light off.
Tatiana, I'm glad that you mentioned shipping to California, because a lot of nurseries in California or in Florida cannot ship into California. And what I like about your website is on every plant that you have, you put certified for shipping into California.
Right. Yeah. Once a year, we have this special certification process. Believe me, it's a very painful process to keep up with all the regulations.
Oh, gee.
Hey, Tatiana, we got to take a break. I'm sorry to interrupt you. We're going to come right back, though, so do stay with us. A break for our friends on Biz Talk Radio. Going to pay some bills. A big thank you to Fertile Loam, and big thank you also to Tatiana, who has been very generous with her time this morning from Top Tropicals. John, do we have any questions, comments when we come back?
We've got comments.
Okay.
No questions yet, but
Okay.
I have lots of questions. I'm sure
Well, then
Tiger does too.
We will continue. If you're tuned in on Biz Talk Radio, one more segment before the top of the hour. Do stay with us. Thank you to Facebook Live as we take a break. And boy, we got some great messages coming your way. Great sponsors on Biz Talk Radio here on Garden America. Okay, welcome back. If you're listening to us on Biz Talk Radio, then this would be the final segment of hour number 1. News coming up top of the hour. Then we come back at 6 minutes after on most of these Biz Talk Radio affiliates. So hopefully you can catch both hours or at least 1 hour or the other. Tiger, as we wrap things up here, this segment back with Tatiana.
Yeah. So, the thing I wanted to mention with Tatiana before we have to wrap up this interview is, as John mentioned before, so much great information on your website, videos, blogs. So anything regarding tropicals, whether it's fruit trees or plants, go to the Top Tropicals website, take a look at all their information and what they're sharing. Because the cool thing about interacting with Tatiana and, on this subject is she has, like she mentioned right when she opened the show, real life experience in the sense of growing these in places that maybe, you wouldn't think you're successful in growing them, and how they react and what she's succeeded with and what she's failed with. So, it's really good to get that straight from Tatiana. So thank you very much for joining us this morning, Tatiana.
Thank you for the opportunity. I always love your shows, guys.
Thanks so much.
Yeah. So, before the last break, we were kind of talking about bringing some of those trees inside. Are there any other things that people need to think about in terms of winterizing any kind of tropical plants?
Well, there's a couple things I also would like to mention. First of all, winter is a good time to plant your trees in the mild climates. And the reason why is because it makes it easy for the root system to establish. So you look at your tree and it seems like it's not growing. It dropped all the leaves, right? You think it's just sleeping, but the roots continue growing. And it's a good time to plant right now if it doesn't get too cold, of course. I don't know what area, depending on what area you live in, but if it doesn't get too freezing, planting in the ground is a good time. Besides, it's easy for yourself, it's more fun than sweating out in summertime.
So true.
So that's one thing. It's a good time to plant now. So just pick your varieties properly. And another thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Another thing I was going to mention, when you grow plants inside during winter, when you bring your babies inside, right? You bring your pots. You wait until the warmer weather comes. Make sure to provide a lot of light. Make sure to keep humidity, or at least don't put it next to air conditioner to the heating system. So plants like humid air. They don't like it dry, right? Mm-hmm. And just water minimum. Don't water too much, because soggy conditions with a low light, it's not a good combination. So that's probably the most important part. And just be patient, because plants during winter, no matter if they're outside or inside, they slow down. You just have to be patient with them. Don't put too much fertilizer. I mean, we say don't fertilize at all during winter, right? Mm-hmm. But you still can use liquid fertilizers because you reduce water, and liquid fertilizer comes with water. So you get less water, less fertilizer, especially if you use something like we use sunshine boosters. These are amino acid based. They're not going to burn your roots. So pretty much just be patient with your plants during winter time and bring them indoors. I posted a link. You can read the whole article about how to take care of your plants indoors, how to bring your jungle indoors. So I posted in your comments in there.
Well, you're used to doing that from living in Moscow, right? In your apartment, bringing a jungle in there.
Yeah, much different growing environments, right?
I wanted to mention just quickly, I know that we have to close up pretty soon, Tiger, but we've been talking about fruit trees this whole time. But if you like tropical flowers, she has a great selection of tropical flowers, shrubs, even trees if you want, but that aren't available anywhere else. So and her inventory is always changing. So I would say check it on a regular basis.
And as she was mentioning too, right now is a great time to plant them if you're in an area that's not under snow. But you can order them from her and get them shipped. And right now, is a great time to ship them because, I'm sure you battle in the summertime shipping, Tatiana, where, if you ship a plant, it goes through the middle of the country and it might be in a hot truck or a hot warehouse, where now when you ship plants, they're going to stay a little cooler through the transit and get to your house a little better or something like that. So, still a good time to kind of interact with Tatiana and get some plants for sure. Tatiana, the last thing regarding your website, so when people go on there, and John mentioned, so are all your plants able to be shipped to California or only certain certified ones?
Most of them, I would say 99%, because the procedure, what happens is, when inspector comes and whatever we have at this point on the tables is getting certified. If we get some new plants, then we need to recertify it. That's why people ask sometimes, how come this one plant you don't send to California? Why is it so? Because at the point when we had inspection, we didn't have it available, and so we have to get the whole expensive procedure again. So I usually just wait for another year for the next year. So if you're waiting for something special, let us know. We will put you on a wish list, and we will add this plant to certified list. This way you can get it next year.
Yeah, perfect. Well, thank you again for joining us, Tatiana. Have a great rest of the weekend, and hopefully your winter fares well there where you're at. I know sometimes you've battled some storms and some weather coming through, but hopefully you have a nice mild one. So thanks again for joining us.
Thank you. Stay warm.
All right. Bye-bye.
Well, more tropicals. A lot of people aren't thinking about tropicals right now if you're under snow, but
I think a lot of people are thinking.
Well, maybe they are
under snow.
Maybe they're fantasizing.
They're dreaming.
They might be thinking of vacationing in the tropics,
but maybe they're not thinking about ordering them right now. But we talked about that as well. All right, let's explain what we're going to do again. Top of the hour for those that are getting used to what we do here.
I have something to show you guys.
For the next spot, for the next hour,
something that I've done the first time. I have this grafting tool. I don't think I've ever shown it to you before, but I finally tried grafting a rose, and I can't believe how easy it is.
What?
So you can use it with grafting other things too. So I'll show you that.
Okay,
that's
next
AI.
hour.
So we're actually going to shut down. So don't panic.
Yeah,
those
don't
on
panic.
Facebook
We're going
Live.
to shut down the show. We will relog in.
Right.
It's going to take us about 6 minutes usually. So
you got a 5-minute break coming your way.
Yeah, grab another cup of coffee.
There you go. So again, those on Biz Talk Radio, hopefully hour 2 comes your way as we are heard in various markets across the country. Thank you to Biz Talk Radio. Thank you, Stephanie. And again, Facebook Live, we're coming back in about 5 or 6 minutes, so don't go too far from your device, how you listen to us or watch us. We are coming back. It's Garden America on your weekend. I'm Brian Main. John Bagnesco, Tiger Palafox. Stay with us. Well, we are back. Welcome to hour number 2. Yes, indeed, we made it to hour 2, both on Biz Talk Radio, Facebook Live. Thank you for joining us. Those on Biz Talk Radio, our faithful Facebook Live audience. Hopefully you got a chance to catch Tatiana talking about tropicals from Top Tropicals. And is she Fort Lauderdale, did you say, Tiger?
Fort Myers.
Fort Myers. I knew it was a fort.
There's lots of forts.
One of those forts down there.
It's on the other side of the state, though.
Yeah.
It's on the West Coast.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
So
she used to be in Punta Gorda.
I know where that is.
Do you?
Yes.
That's where she used to be. Then she moved from there to Fort Myers.
And I say that because I've done commercials for that area.
Oh.
So a lot of interesting little towns pop up during the week when I'm doing commercials nationally, and that was one of them. So I always look it up, see exactly where it is that I'll be heard. And that's one of them, John.
I always thought you should have one of those condo mangoes.
A condo mango?
Yeah, because you grow it in a pot. You get fruit. It's only going to get like as tall as you, and you're getting fruit.
And
maybe I'll do that.
And they're upright, and they're kind of narrow.
Upright and narrow. We all want to be upright and narrow,
there
right?
There you go.
And I will say for people joining us during this hour and that are kind of coming across from the last show, anybody new, if you're hearing this, Tatiana in the last chat, because it's now 2 separate segments.
Two separate segments,
she
right.
posted in the chat where people are interacting on the side of the show a lot of links to oh, these are 15 varieties of avocado. Oh, these are, notes on how to take care of your tropicals in the wintertime, to her blogs and to her YouTube videos. So if you're listening to us now and be like, oh, whoa, I missed that part, you can always go back, watch the show, number one. But number two, there's a lot of links that she posted in the chat feature that take people directly to certain blogs or YouTube videos.
So if you're on Facebook, then we have the current show that's on right now, but below this would be hour one.
Correct.
Just kind of scroll down, and that's last hour's show.
Exactly. All right.
If you're on the radio, you have to go to Biz Talk Radio.
Biz Talk Radio.
and just listen, because you won't see the links.
Or
but
just
you can always go back to Facebook or YouTube, right?
Well, YouTube's good because everything's edited. So you go from one segment to the other, or just wait for us to appear on Alexa, Google, Spotify, somewhere. You'll be able to catch us.
I just want to say something real quick while people are joining us this show. Our show again real quick. Okay, we've been doing this whole cut and then start again for maybe
inside of a month.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
People are getting so good about it now that they're like, right back on it. Just jumping right back on the show. John has been doing this show for years.
Decades.
And this morning, his audio still went live.
Didn't that used to be that used to be me in the studio with the laptop?
Yeah, but even after years, his audio is still live.
We've turned it into a bit. Hey, so thank you. Those on Facebook.
But I do remember the Swamp Fox.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you. Those on Facebook, thank you for understanding how we're doing this now with two different segments, hour one, hour two on Facebook Live. And we've discovered this is probably the best way to do it without getting kicked off. Now, nothing's for certain, but so far, so good.
Yeah, we're figuring things.
Yeah, we're figuring things out.
We're doing workarounds here.
I really appreciate our listeners, because you're mentioning that now, they've learned quickly how to do this, but you get comments like, did I make it? Yay! Did it!
I love it. I know.
That's beautiful.
I know. It's so funny.
Got them.
So, John, prior to the this first hour, this is hour two. So prior to us starting hour two, previously, at the end of hour one, you teased us. You teased us with something, and now you have a contraption here in this lovely library,
and
our studio.
And we're not playing the Saw movie or something like that, right? This is a pretty intense contraption. Like, if I saw this, I'd run away from somebody who's carrying.
What's the best way to show this, do you think?
That camera's on right now.
Yeah.
So just hold it up
to that camera.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and that might move. You want me to try to keep it locked in? I can zoom in on you too.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
So John doesn't have to move.
Got it.
So Brian, you might have to do a play-by-play of what I'm doing.
You're holding an abbreviated stem.
John steps up to the stem, grabs the pruning shears.
Well, you're doing a great job. A hush falls over the audience, and the anticipation is growing.
So, what I'm holding now we'll assume is the rootstock, and this I brought it in the house just so that I can show this on the radio here. But
show it on the radio.
We'll show it on the podcast. But this would normally have roots on it, and it would either be in the ground or in a pot. And then this part that still has the leaves is the part that I would graft onto it. So I got to show you how this works. Brian, I think you're going to be impressed with this.
I love the contraption.
Okay, there you go. So it's a very modified pruner device. Like, when you first look at it, you think, it's a pair of pruners.
It looks like a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, right? It does, because there's a lot of little angles.
Swiss Army pruner, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But one of the things that people won't be able to see is that on one end of it, it makes a cut into the stem that's shaped like a V. And the cool thing about it is that because it's consistent as far as that cut shape, so you have how do you describe it, Brian? The inside of the V? Yeah. And then you have the V that you're going to be inserting into the inside of the
so
V.
So it would be the same each time. It would be consistent.
Exactly.
Every time.
So when you take with a normal pair of pruners to do a grafting cut, you make your cut with the pruners and you try to get it as good of an angle.
You do your own angles.
But then at the same time, when you're cutting the tip of the branch that you're putting in there too, you have to try to mimic those angles again. Well, this one automatically does it for you.
It's like it's got its own template.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was part of John's thumb that fell on the table. We'll pick that up later. Don't worry.
You see the cut.
Look at that. Look at that.
Exactly. So here, hold this one up a little closer so people can see it kind of in the camera.
I mean, that is as good as it's going to get. Yeah, right there. Hold it right there.
Which is perfect because if somebody knows that how to graft, sometimes that cut is the hardest part.
Yeah.
Because you either cut it at the wrong angle or you cut too much or you cut too little.
If he did 1, 10, or 100, you'd have the exact same cut each time.
Exactly. He's missing his pointer finger.
Yeah.
He's looking around like, where'd it go?
I'm surprised. He doesn't bleed much, does he?
No, exactly.
Well, the tension is just...
Okay, so now that's the insert part. Hold on one second. Let me hold up that part, too.
Now we're going to put that together.
Oh, no, wait a minute. It's still the V, right? Does it go together like that? Okay. Oh, there it goes.
Look at that.
So now what do you do? So you got these two different pieces that you put together. Okay, do they just stay together? Or do you? What do you have to do after that?
You get super glue.
Super glue? Is that the technical?
John's got tape here.
What I have is paraffin tape.
Yeah.
And this is, you can buy it online. It's really cheap. Also called grafting tape. But then that cut that I just made and stuck those two pieces together, you just wrap it.
Could you? I mean, what's the difference between paraffin tape? Is it just like Scotch tape, or is it different?
No, the difference is
it sticks to the
that it. You can easily stretch it, and the bud, when it grows, will grow out of this.
Yeah.
So you don't have to. If you were doing budding, you don't have to worry about pulling it off afterwards. It just deteriorates after a while.
I was going to say it's a very lightweight tape material that will break down with time, number one. Number two is very flexible, so it allows for growth and development to occur without obstructing it too tight or cutting off circulation. But it's also a little breathable because, you don't want to completely, suffocate this. This is where you're trying to get growth to occur. So you need the ability to kind of still have some light and water, kind of humidity get in and out of there and all of that. So, paraffin tape is kind of, I think, an important part of this. People will say, oh, I just wrap it with, moss or some jute as well. So, you can't just use a basic growing tape all the time. I'm not going to say you can't ever, but, it's good if you have the proper stuff. And it kind of sticks to itself, right? Like, this tape just kind of like binds to itself. You don't have to tie a knot.
We got to take a break. You know that? We are having so much fun.
We're
running
Can
a
we
little...
talk to Facebook? Can we talk to the
No,
station?
not Facebook. It's Biz Talk.
Can we talk to them and say we just need no breaks?
No, this is good. Yeah, we're okay. We're still doing well. So we're going to take a break for Biz Talk Radio and our sponsors on Biz Talk Radio. This is Facebook Live, and of course, it's Garden America. Stay with us. All right, we are back from the break. If you're just joining us, it is Garden America. It is Facebook Live. It's Biz Talk Radio. Tiger Palafox, John Begnasco. I'm Brian Main. John just demonstrated a great grafting cut. John, can we call it great?
Can we call it great?
I'd call it adequate.
but it seems
it's hard to do and
be watched.
Right. But I think the more you do it, the easier it gets.
Yeah. Right.
And so, you've taken a rose here and grafted it for demonstration.
Right.
And I would say the size of this rose cutting would be maybe the size of a pencil. Okay.
Okay. Number two pencil.
A number 2 pencil. Okay.
Ticonderoga.
If you were to do a smaller stem, would it be more difficult?
More difficult.
It would be, I would imagine.
And if you did a larger
this is
stem,
the optimum size.
a size of a pencil for this device.
Right.
So, if people are interested in it, it's, you're going to be doing cuttings from plants that, again, size of a pencil stem is what you would want.
And you could put those little magnifiers over your glasses if it gets really small.
Well, some of the things that you could do if you had a small yard is you don't say you've got 10 roses and no more room for roses. Just take your existing bushes and put other varieties on those. So you can have 2 or 3 varieties on one plant.
On one plant, yeah.
You're thinking, aren't you?
I am, absolutely.
There's a lot of chatter. We'll go through this real quick. So, number one, a lot of fun, and slicing and dicing. It has good stuff. But Carla, would it work on tomatoes? I still have the dream to graft those someday. So, we talked about the stem size that it needs to be for a tomato. Mm-hmm. So, there's that aspect of it that, depending on the part of the tomato plant, would it work? Number 2 is, could it work on a tomato, though, John? Because I know that the critical part of grafting a tomato is keeping that humidity right there at that joint, right? Isn't that one of the things you used to talk about in the greenhouse that when they were grafting the tomatoes was
they have to go in a healing chamber.
Yes.
Which is 100% humidity.
Yeah. So even if you did this kind of cutting, you still have to do that.
Right. You couldn't do the way that you graft tomatoes. I guess if you had a mature tomato,
you're right,
you could go ahead and do that, but it wouldn't make any sense. To graft tomatoes, you start with 2 seedlings, and all you need is a razor blade to do that. And you just make 45-degree cuts and then put those together, and there's a grafting clip. If you take the rootstock on a tomato that's growing, do a 45-degree cut, then you slip the grafting clip over it. And then you do the same thing with the new tomato that you want grafted, and you stick that down in the clip. And then there's no wrapping or anything, but you put in 100% humidity, and you can easily do that with the baggie. Just stick the whole thing in a baggie, after you've watered it.
There's another question about now what do you do with it? And we did this with what would be a cutting, right? We grabbed two roses and made a cutting out of both of them, and then you would root that, so to speak. But would you do that ever, or would you always want the bottom of the graft to be actually a rooted plant?
Preferably that's the way to do it. They're called stentlings, where you can make a graft similar to what we did and then try to root it. And a stentlings did that exact cut we made without being rooted. But to me, that seems like a lot to try.
Oh, wow. And I'm trying to grab a link because a person also asked now, send the name and the link. So I'm gathering, I'm on Amazon right now, and I'm finding this.
Amazon, what is that?
This Glark's Professional Grafting Fruit Tree Planting Grafting Shears. Anyways, man, there's a whole kit that it comes with. Some of them come with more elaborate aspects like tags and knives and all kinds of other things. Some are less, but they range between $25 and $18 or so. Pretty neat. So I'm going to post a link to one of these.
And you can read up on it.
And then you can kind of look.
Is this one that I used in there?
I mean, it looks like it, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's that. I don't know if you know which one that one is. This is the whole kit that comes with tags and everything, though.
Yeah.
Did yours come with tags and everything?
Well, there's
knives.
I think mine just came with that over there.
Just the case.
Just the case.
Okay, so the one I'm posting is one with tags.
Lots of
everything.
accessories.
But I mean, like I said, there's other ones.
Also, should mention it came with a measuring device, a triangle, because it's important that when you are making this, that the diameter of the top and the bottom are the same.
They have to match.
So when I took these cuttings outside, I just went out there this morning. I made sure that they were the same size, because that way they'll fit together.
Okay. I might have some trouble posting this link. I just tried to do a grab and post from Amazon, but it's not making it a link. It's just making it a bunch of gibberish on the Facebook. I'll try to do better.
Okay.
I'm trying to.
We're doing it on the fly is what you're doing.
Exactly.
Oh, so but if somebody did click that, it would take them to that site?
I would say if you go to Amazon and you type in grafting pruner, not grafting tool.
Grafting tool? Oh, grafting pruner?
Well, I did grafting pruner, and they all popped up right away. I think grafting tool, you'll probably have a few more other things that pop up.
Okay.
But anyways, there's a lot of varieties, and I think that it's, 18 to $20, $25. You can't go wrong.
That's cheaper than some just regular shears we buy.
You can make some really cool plants. Now,
it's half the price of pruning shears, right?
Yeah.
Now, what about citrus? Okay, so, this is another thing. And they say this is a grafting fruit tree device. Mm-hmm. Similar size stems. So you're dealing with...
The citrus would work the same way.
Yeah.
So that would be a great way to make a salad citrus
tree.
Yeah.
And it's really cool because it would be ideal if you had a tree in your backyard, right? And then you go and grab some cuttings from some other buddies, some other friend's tree or family tree, and now you can put it onto your tree in your backyard. Right? That would be like the most ideal situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you're looking for your, grandma's lemon tree that you can't find anywhere else in the world,
right?
You need to have them.
That's sometimes you have a sentimental reason, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned grandma. What if, this was something she always had and you want to have it in your yard?
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's a lot of why people have certain plants is because that's what they grew up with. I have a friend offered me guava trees. He's like, I got these guavas just popping up all over my yard. You want any? And I'm like, no, thank you. I'm good. But he goes, yeah, it was a tree from, my parents' house, and I loved it, and I planted it at my house. There were some seedlings, some saplings that came up there, and that's why he has it. And so, it's kind of cool.
I didn't realize that. You mentioned guavas. I didn't realize guavas came up from seed everywhere. Like I have one in the front that, there's a guava orchard right next to me. And I don't know if it was a bird or what, but, it came up and it grew. And
there you go.
So you bring up a point because he was wondering, should we wrap this up? Maybe carry it over after the break?
Let's carry it over.
Okay.
So we're going to take a break for Biz Talk Radio. Again, Facebook Live, Biz Talk Radio. Do stay with us. We have at least, let's see here, 2 or 3 more segments still to come. Welcome to the show. It's Garden America, back after these messages on Biz Talk Radio. Okay, right back. The action continues here on Garden America as we continue from our last conversation just prior to the break.
So he was asking me about the guava tree. Are these runners? Like, are these, roots that are now producing new trees?
I would say probably
or are
seedlings.
they seeds?
Seedlings,
and
right?
I was like, well, when you dig it up.
Yeah, you can tell.
If you dig it up and it's just a plant, there's seedlings that came up. But if you actually have to cut a root to get this plant, they would be runners. And so you think they're seedlings.
Well, I do. I don't know if I've ever seen...
They run. I don't think they run.
No.
Yeah, like that. So I agree. I think it's probably just seedlings. Like you say, it's pretty impressive that they do come up from seed. As Brian and I were driving up here, I was making the comment that...
Trees.
There's no trees here. You know what I mean? It's beautiful. We're driving up, and you're driving along the highway, and plenty of bushes. There's plenty of green. But there's no trees.
No real trees.
And
natives.
They just don't grow naturally. So the guava being able to grow, I mean, it's pretty impressive. Yeah.
It'll be like any seedling, though, of a fruit tree. It won't be the same variety. Who knows what it'll be.
Yep.
But
could not even produce fruit for
who knows? Who knows? We'll see. It's free.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's free, and I had room for it, so I just let it come up.
I'm going to play with John's stool.
I know, right?
That sounded weird.
Watch he doesn't hurt himself, Brian.
That's like giving that to a 5-year-old and say, hey, play with this. But so how many what other angles would you need besides what you did?
I don't think you need any.
No, right?
I don't know.
The silence is deafening. I don't know. We're just watching Tiger here make another cut.
See, I think that's what you were doing wrong. You did the other one.
Yeah.
But you did the same cut. You're supposed to do it like that.
Right.
and then you get the V cut.
Okay, so it's like a puzzle piece. It's like a puzzle piece.
I was trying to cover, figuring that viewers weren't going to see what I did.
Yeah. So each cut's a little different, so it fits.
But it fits just like that.
Yeah.
So
The one I did in the garage, I did it that way.
yeah.
You did it the right way in the
I did
garage.
it the right way, yeah.
Do it right.
Yeah. So we've definitely pointed out that what I originally showed was wrong.
But it can still work.
Yeah.
Look at now. See, when you do it right, you can't even tell there's a split.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
That is really neat.
Yeah, that just fits right in there perfect.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's fun. That's fun to do. So, to give some people some list of plants that they could graft with a tool like this: roses, fruit trees, apples, nectarines, those kinds of ones as well, or no?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
What was our conclusion on tomatoes?
It would be difficult because you'd have to have a mature tomato, like John mentioned.
And
it's
then you're defeating the whole purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do those with seedlings and the grafting clip's the main thing.
Yeah.
And those are easy to buy.
And then what would be some plants that people, besides a rose, because that'd be really cool to put multiple color flowers on one bush, and then you walk out. Can you imagine, like, you see a rose and it's got red flowers and white flowers and yellow flowers and pink flowers all on one bush? That'd be, if you want to go crazy, that'd be a lot of fun, right? Could you do that with a camellia, or no? Camellias don't graft.
Well, no, camellias graft. Nucios grows a lot of grafted camellias.
They do, right?
Yeah.
So you could graft some on camellias.
Yeah.
I wonder if they
see why
have to
not.
be, like, does Sasanqua have to be Sasanqua and Japonica have to be Japonica?
Well, it's the same thing with fruit trees. You don't want to put varieties with different growth rates on the same plant, because otherwise you're going to have, if you've got a dwarf or a compact plant like a kumquat, and you stick a lemon on it, you're going to have this huge branch coming out. But you could easily put 4 or 5 different kinds of lemons. I think I have 4, maybe 5 different kinds of lemons. And how many lemon trees do you need? 1.
Yeah.
So if those were all on one tree, that would be better.
Make
for me.
room for more roses.
Yeah.
Somebody said bougainvillea. I don't know if you can do this with bougainvillea. Bougainvilleas are a special breed, all in their own way. I mean, I could say you can, but I don't know. I've never seen it.
You know what the answer is? Go ahead and try.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I
seriously.
If I got one of these,
bougainvillea?
if I got one of these tools,
You'd be experimenting all the
in
time.
10 years, my garden would look like Frankenstein.
It's the island. What is it? The island of Dr. Moreau?
Yeah, exactly.
Where
yeah.
it's just randomness happening. I'm like, I grafted this to this.
Yeah, Dr. Moreau did a lot of weird
And that
breeding.
becomes your Frankenstein tree.
Now, let's say if you were to pick any time of year, like, to do this random grafting to be the most successful, when would you say to do it?
I think they late fall or early spring is what they usually recommend. Here I did it in the middle of winter, so I'll see what happens. I did take that plant, and rather than leave it outside after I did it, I put it in the garage in a little rooting box.
Dome.
Yeah, so it'll be warm and it'll be good humidity.
Carla brought up a question: where would you get the rootstock for a camellia? And to kind of like answer this, Carla, I mean, we're not talking about grafting plants for specific resistance or anything like that. I mean, you could. Don't get me wrong. Like, you could. We're just talking about randomly putting plants together right now.
Right.
So it's more like, I had this camellia bush at my friend's house. I really liked it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'll ever be able to find it. You take a cutting, you bring it home. You have a camellia that's a same variety, but maybe not the same flower.
Yeah, maybe like a Camellia japonica.
Yeah, and now you're putting it on that plant.
Right.
Or, fruit tree like we talked about too. So, I mean, to find rootstock, I'm sure there's probably some mail order companies that sell
just the
clean
rootstock
rootstock of certain plants. But we're not really talking about that. We're just more talking about having some fun with combining some plants or preserving some plants that maybe because like we say, you might not be able to dig up that 80-year-old camellia from
Right.
your parents' home that you want to save, but you could take some cuttings and you can root them, or you can graft them, or stuff like that. So yeah, that's more what we're focusing
Didn't
on.
we graft tomatoes originally to demonstrate creating disease resistance? Were they healthier stock that was resistant?
The rootstock, there's different rootstocks. Now there's probably 100 different rootstocks on tomato plants, and they're used for different things. Most of it commercially, but for homeowners, the main thing is disease resistance.
Right.
Because all the old heirloom varieties are not disease resistant. They get fusarium wilt, verticillium wilt, nematodes. But if you put on a rootstock resistant to that, you're not going to have that problem. Also, the rootstocks are more vigorous, so you usually get a bigger crop, like 30% bigger crop, and you get larger tomatoes.
Yeah. So cool. Well, that's a fun tool. And like I said, if I had
it
one
is,
of those,
right?
if I had one of those,
Look how clean it looks.
in 10 years, my whole garden would be mixed with all kinds of weird stuff. So
Well, fortunately, you know somebody you could borrow it from if you
I'm
want.
only gonna do half my yard.
Yeah.
But the cut, when you did the cut correctly, you can't even really tell unless you look real close.
No,
It
no,
fits so
it's
well
cool.
together.
It's
Yeah.
really cool. Easy to use.
It's funny, I was trying to fool the listeners and not showing them that I did it the wrong way, and Tiger picked up on it right away.
Yeah.
That's not right.
You've got two V's going together here.
Yeah.
Yeah. John's going against nature.
But again, it can still work.
It's good. Yeah.
Yeah,
don't
not
know.
that one.
But
Not that way.
but it's a lot smoother fit, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you graft in your garden?
I think
in your patio, what would you do?
I think roses.
yeah.
I would love to have a multiple rose bush.
yeah.
It's because color differential. So if I had, you could put roses that have no fragrance with roses that have fragrance on the same bush, right?
Yeah.
You could if you wanted to.
I mean that opens up so many
I don't know
possibilities.
why you would pick a rose with no fragrance.
He's just trying to be.
Just trying to random. It's Frankenstein, like he said.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
Speaking of fragrance,
Yeah.
does that pink rose behind you smell?
Yeah, that is strong.
Oh my
wow.
gosh.
What is that?
That's Gertrude Jekyll.
Is it?
It's one of the most fragrant roses.
Even this orange one smells good too.
Yeah,
Smell
that-
the orange one, or yellow, or whatever.
I think
you
that's
want.
Wow.
Lady of Shalott.
We're going to take a
Let me
break.
see if I can trick Brian. Smell this one.
Now that's got the best aroma of any rose in here. We're going to take a break. We've got one more segment coming up here for Biz Talk Radio and Facebook Live. Thank you for joining us. I'm Brian Main, John Bagnasker, Tiger Palafox. This is Garden America. Do stay with us. One more segment coming your way. Okay, we are back with our final segment here on Garden America as we continue on this. What's today's date? Is this the 10th?
I don't know.
12? I don't know. Where are we? The 13th is the 3rd. Let's see. This is
January 10th.
January 10th.
January
Okay.
10th.
Which means the 12th is on Monday.
The
Start your brand new week. The 12th.
Oh, is it, what's so special about the 12th?
I don't know.
Just that it's
because
Monday?
I'm going back to work.
I know you've been off for the week.
Been off for the week.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a song called "The 12th of Never"?
Yeah, Johnny Mathis, right?
Was that?
Well, there was a lot of versions of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Until the
remember
12th
Cher-
of Never, and that's a long, long time.
Yeah.
Carla, Gertrude Jekyll is the fragrant rose.
Right.
Yes.
It's a David Austin rose.
Yeah.
The other one is, I believe, Lady of Shalott.
And then we got a question. Recommendations for partial shade grass varieties. Need to resod the backyard, approximately 1,500 square feet. Kids are tracking in too much dirt. And this is from the Livingstons. Which is
John.
funny because I'm going to be talking with John after the show about grass
yes.
in his backyard.
Right.
And part of it is in partial shade, and it gets damp. And that's probably one of the toughest things for a lawn is, you think about it, like they love water and, everything. But part shade grass where it stays damp is a challenge for grass because it thins out and doesn't grow very well. But do you know the Livingstons, where they're at, John?
Yeah, Johnson, Newport Beach.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so let's talk about this real quick. We got our Marathon sod varieties, and every sod company has different varieties of fescue. And when we talk about fescue lawns, these are the stay green year-round lawns. Basically, Marathon is a brand, and they've got a Marathon 1, 2, and 3. And the difference is in their growth rate and their growth height, so to speak. So Marathon 1 is a standard tall fescue, grows very quickly, fills in real well, but it also needs to be mowed more frequently because it grows quickly and taller. It's great for playgrounds and heavy traffic areas because it recovers really well. But if you don't have a heavy traffic area, Marathon 2 is wonderful because it grows slower, a little shorter, so you don't have to mow it as often. But the problem is that it doesn't recover from dog traffic, kid traffic as much.
Not as durable.
Not as durable. Well, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's, I mean, durability I think is the same. It just doesn't repair itself. Right?
Okay.
So,
all
I mean,
right.
the Marathon 1 still handles the traffic the same ways, but within a week or two, it repairs itself.
Okay.
Marathon 2 would take 2 or 3 months to repair itself.
We've all been waiting for 3.
Marathon 3 is the dwarf fescue, which you almost never have to mow.
Double dwarf.
Double dwarf.
Yeah.
Which you almost never have to mow, but if you've got a dog or heavy traffic, it'll virtually like never repair itself. So it's always going to have bare spots or a path worn or something like that. It's more of a lawn that you like to look at, but you don't always
look but don't touch.
So you put like a little museum ropes around it.
And in terms of a park shade situation, those are your best varieties to use because fescues like that more so than a Bermuda.
If you like to mow, go with 1.
Yeah, exactly.
If you like that type of grass.
Yeah.
If you really want one that's tough and will take the shade with no problems and full sun, you use St. Augustine.
St. Augustine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But that's kind of more,
it's
not as soft.
No, it's a coarse grass.
It's a coarse grass and it runs,
right.
Runs all over. So you got to keep it edged and everything like that. And it kind of yellows out in the wintertime, right? It doesn't go dormant, does it?
It doesn't go as bad as
Bermuda.
Bermuda yellows.
But it kind of yellows a little bit, right? The St. Augustine?
Yeah, I think if you fertilize it, especially on the coast, it'll stay green all year round.
Yeah.
Which one itches less?
Marathon 2 and 3.
Okay.
St. Augustine is itchy. And then Marathon 1 is itchy for sure.
It's been a long time since I rolled around in grass
with
no shirt on.
Yeah,
exactly. But those days, those memories.
I remember those. Oh, as a kid.
Yeah, you're
just like, oh.
I itch. Hey, grass makes you itch.
Yeah. When is the best time to resod? Now.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, now. Now is the time. Especially in Newport Beach. If you can get it in before the heat, get a good 6 inches of root development before it gets summertime, you're going to save a ton because the issue with grass sod is they tell you to keep it wet, and you can water 3, 4, 5 times a day, every day, depending on the temperatures.
Wow.
Well, in the wintertime, you don't have to do it because it's cool or you get rain.
Right.
So if you do this in July, you might as well just leave your sprinklers running.
Though you would have a better chance at Newport Beach in July than you would Fallbrook in July.
Absolutely.
Or Temecula.
All right. Linda, thank you. We will look into a planting for bird habitat episode. There's always fun stuff to plants for birds.
2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes remaining.
Thank you, Carla, for the nice note about, I love the broadcast from your homes, guys. So warm and welcoming. The studio was so much more sterile.
It is. That's exactly what it is. Not quite as homey.
Just wait, Carla, from the next episode is actually from Brian's bedroom, where we're going to be.
It's going to be real cozy. Real cozy. Okay, so we got about a minute and a half to go.
At all? No.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, see, look, right there, see?
You just moved the pen. That's not the end of the show. You just moved the pen.
But that's how we know when the end of the show is coming. This is our last segment.
We're done?
We're done, yeah. And you know how else you can tell? Look at the clock.
Oh, goodness.
I know. Well, it's amazing. We're having a good time.
No show next week.
No show next week, but then we come back the week after.
Yep, exactly. So save your questions. Send them online. Chat with us on Facebook. And
yeah,
then
you can always
we'll
go
be
on
back.
Facebook and chat. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
we still have to kill about another minute here, John. What do you have to contribute?
Well, Dana likes the idea about birds. Didn't I just write something in the newsletter not too long ago about planting for birds, or
Yes.
did I not?
You did, because it was wintertime.
Yeah, 'cause Dana
And
takes
people
care
don't
of
think about feeding the birds through the winter
Dana
time.
takes care of all of our birds.
Yeah.
We see varieties that come through there that we would never see if we hadn't presented all this food to them.
This
You see the
buffet.
finches, you see the doves, the crows, but then if you show up and it's like, where did you come from?
Yeah, final warning from Carla about what we were talking about, St. Augustine. She said they had to come over from the neighbor's house, and it's a pain.
Yes,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
it does
Okay.
run.
We got to go. Thank you to Biz Talk Radio, Facebook Live. We'll see you again, not next week, but the week after. So enjoy yourself. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Be safe. Have a great week. And we'll do it again in 2 weeks right here from who knows where we'll be broadcasting from. It's Garden America, Brian Main, John Begnasco, Tiger Palafox, and we'll see you next time. Take care.